Warped. I think I did that after Mafia. I think I did it after Mafia, could have been before. I can't remember. Crash Warped is one of the best Crash games, and I feel that with Crash 1 and Crash 3 they handle the theming better. So Crash 1, you're on an island, it's quite a dark theme, like the generator room and castle machinery, very, very strange levels. Crash 3 is a bit more open, and I think that's what helps it a bit. There's got bike levels, it's got underwater levels, it's levels through ages of time, which I think handles into it because it's a time travelling game. Also, it's got the best cast of villains, like you've got Tiny Tiger, although he may not be great, you've got Dingo Doll, you've got Entropy, you've got Engine, and you've got Cortex at the end. Cortex at the end's fight is really hard. And also, I do apologise for the last video I made on Crash 3. It was out of time, and I guess that factors into time travelling, let's just call it that. I think, once again, the graphics and that are brilliant. I talked about that in Crash 2. All the designs are great. I think the levels are done really well. I don't like the bike ones, but I know that's how it was on the original, so I can't argue with that. I think I enjoyed Crash 3. I enjoyed Crash 3 and Crash 1. I didn't enjoy Crash 2 much. I think Crash 3 is another 9 out of 10, similar to Crash 1. I enjoyed playing it, I enjoyed the levels, I enjoyed the bosses, even though the bosses were hard, like with Dingo Doll, we don't talk about Dingo Doll. And I think the crystals and the gems were slightly fairer than Crash 2, like with the gem paths, you could see where they were a bit fairer, whereas with Crash 2, you'd like go down a bit, go all the way to the end of the death route, get a gem, and then realise it was absolutely redundant for you to go that way in the first place. So, there we are. On to the next one. Cuphead. I remember when the game first came out, my friend spoke to me about it, and I had no idea what he was on about. I went home and did a bit of looking into it on a computer, and it blew me away. I was like, how are they making all these little cartoons women move on the screen and shoot things? I mean, it's not like other games. I mean, there's practically no other games like it except one rip-off. So it took me ages to try and get it. I think I got it. I think I bought the game 2021 for $15.99, and I'd been wanting it since it first came out. So to play it and to realise I absolutely sucked at it was great. And I really enjoyed the playthrough. I love that there's a DLC that they made. That makes the game like 10 times better with all the weapons and the extra stuff. It's a huge game, there's a lot to do, and it's just a charming game. It's like, what game do you know that makes you run around collecting a member of a barbershop quartet and then tells you to get off your arse and walk out the house? Cuphead does that. It's brilliant. The designs are great. The music is fire. Like, the music is probably one of the best bits about the game. The boss design is like, I mean, it's great. If I beat that, I'm Dark Souls is another thing, but you know, maybe a chance. I absolutely love Cuphead. I would rate it in probably my top 10 games. It is something that has grown over time for me. Like there was a point where I just suffered on aisle 2 and I didn't want to play it anymore. And then when I got into aisle 3 and then I bought the DLC and then I did the playthrough, I think I really enjoyed it. And I think there's a lot of replayability to it. I think the mausoleums are great. I think the characters, the unlockables, the coins, the weapons, the levels, the run and guns, all great. 10 out of 10. Okay, 10 out of 10. Right, on to the last one.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I?
Did I say the last one? Sugar. There's 2 more. Skyrim first. I'm going to do Skyrim. Skyrim, for me, it's a game I couldn't see myself playing. I never really got into Game of Thrones, and I know it's got nothing to do with Game of Thrones, but it's on a similar basis. So I played Skyrim about a couple months before I did the playthrough. I did a bit of the research. I have a game guide. It's not with me now. I think it's in a cupboard over there or something. I have a game guide. I read it through. I read everything. I read the weapons. I read the stuff. I read the side quests. I read all the little numbers you need to know for levels and that. And it's a really good game. It does all it needs to do is an RPG. Obviously, it's aged kind of poorly, given the graphics, what it was originally released on, being the Xbox 360 and PS3. But I I love Skyrim. The music when you load in is banging. It's got a brilliant story, although it's easy to be carried away through all the side quests thrown in your face. It's got a wonderful cast of characters, except Nazim, because Nazim can rot in a bin. And the choices you make, I like how you could do one thing, and that could just change the entire game. So you're going to have to just go back, and if you don't want that, you're going to go back and change it again. It's really neat. But I think I prefer the later stages of Skyrim. In the early stages, it's always going to town, get iron armor, kill a dragon, get bombarded by level higher dragons up in the mountains, I don't know. But for me, Skyrim has kind of stuck with me, and obviously got to take it down a few just because I guess it's kind of aged a bit, and I guess the enjoyment from the start doesn't carry over. But as for a game as a whole, it's a solid 8 out of 10 in my opinion. I love the playthrough, even though it was quite long, and even though towards the end I accidentally lost footage, which you might remember. It was a big key moment. You have to fight Alduin with Parthenax, which I never actually got on camera, even though I recorded it because it didn't save. I will never live that down to this day. But yeah, 8 out of 10, love Skyrim. Anyway,
was bad, man.
Mafia Definitive Edition. 10 out of 10. That is how you do a remake. I played the PS2 version, and I saw it was a game that had potential for a remake. Like, I remember watching the trailer for the remake, because I love crime games. I love open world crime games like GTA 4. If I played GTA 4 on this channel, that would be best thing ever, honestly. But I sold my Xbox. Anyways, on another subject, Mafia, brilliant. The redo of the levels, the redo of the music, the character redesigns, the driving, yeah, still rubbish, but it relates to the time period. Like in the racing mission, even though we can hate it all we want, we just know that that's how it controlled at the time. It's just a brilliant game. I love the acting performances in it. I like some of the redesigns in some scenes, like with cutscenes, like Don Morello's death. In the original, there was 2 ways. You either shoot his plane down and he crashes and that's it, or he drives off a bridge, and then when we did the playthrough, we saw that his plane lifted off, we shot it, and then it landed, and then we proceeded to put the bullets in as the final bit. That's brilliant. The whole ending, yes, it's still similar, but it leads straight into Mafia 2, which is what I'm hoping to film in the new year, so stay tuned for that. Mafia Definitive Edition, honestly, probably the greatest example on how to remake a game, or remaster a game. And I guess Mafia 3, it did take a few graphics and a few points from Mafia 3, but Mafia 3 is just, it's mid. Mafia Definitive Edition is up here. It's a wonderful game. Me and my friends speak about it a lot, make a few jokes about it, just because it's a good game. We know it well, and yeah, it's very replayable. There's a lot of collectibles. Like you have to like collect foxes, cards, magazines. In the open world, there's many missions, like other side quests. It's kind of timed, kind of hard missions, but you can unlock vehicles, you can unlock some costumes. It is better than the original, and obviously that's what a remaster is meant to be like, the Crash remasters. It does whatever it needs to do and amplifies it by 1 billion. That is why it is such a good game, and that is why it is 10 out of 10. Anyways, I think that's about it for this video. Yeah, I've reviewed every game we've played on the channel after Crash 1. I know this has been building up as reviews, and I know that it's kind of been disappointing that every video after Crash 1 would come up with gaming, reviews and everything else, and the reviews bit would be circles and questions. But here we are, done the reviews. I hope you enjoyed it. I've actually enjoyed this, and I'm going to enjoy the editing process after filming this. But thank you very much for watching, if you've stayed this far. And if you haven't played any of these games and you are enlightened by what I've said about them, then I suggest you check them out and see what you think. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. Don't judge my haircut, thank you. Yeah, I'm not that pleased, but I mean, like, it's a bit different. But yeah, off topic, but thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.